Hello everybody, welcome back to Fanblade. It's been a couple of days. I've been sitting on my... No, I haven't been. I've been working out hard. What I've done is I have sanded this, and then I went through with a razor blade and scraped it because a lot of people were saying things to me like, oh, you're spending too much time sanding it. I cannot disagree with that. Scrapers work really well. Now, scrapers, your proper cabinet scraper, is a tricky thing to sharpen. I'm not at that level yet. However, razor blade's already sharp, and I've got a fair few of these hanging around the shop. They're really easy to use. You just scrape them across the thing, and they'll just take the a fine layer off, and you get a nice finish. It's equivalent to about 1,000 grit. So I have yet to do that to the guitar. I will show you that whole process in a second, but in the meantime, I'm itching to get some super glue on here. Let's glove up. Okay, let's have a talk about how I got to that stage with the other body. Sanding these out is really, really tough. The grains go in every direction. They say you're supposed to sand with the grain. You can't sand this. You can't get a decent finish from sanding it. This body's had a bit of a sand. I got it all the way to 400 before giving up. And trying something else. What I did do though, it was just in here. I used the spindle sander with different grits of paper all the way up to 400. So they've had 400. They're nice and smooth. There's still a few sanding lines in there, and it's something that we'll address now. This is a scraper. Actually, it's a razor blade. It's the sort of blade that you get off the blue knife that I sometimes use, which I don't have in my pocket right now, otherwise I'd pull it out, but you've all seen it. And yeah, it's just good. Going downhill of the grain, which is kind of important, not just with the grain, but downhill of the grain, otherwise it's like stroking a cat the wrong way. You just scrape that clean. Changing direction because the grain's going down a hill this other way. And so on. And you can do the whole body like this. I've already had a go at the side here. There's still some sanding lines here. But just again, coming downhill of the grain. You can just scrape them out. There's one that's being a little bit stubborn, so what I found is to go back to a little bit of, I believe that's 400, is that 400? Yes, I've got some 400 here. Just rough up that surface, and then the scraper can take off a lot more, a lot faster. So that's now pretty much ready. This thing will get you to the equivalent of that feels like 1000 grit to me. So this is like a really fast way of going from sort of 250 or 400 all the way up to 1000. It is dangerous. I mean, don't forget you're holding a razor blade. You can get the end and spike bits into it, but if you're careful. I'll do the rest of the body, and then I'll finish it with superglue. Now, this stuff here, I ran out of the good stuff. I ran out of the stuff that I actually wanted to use. So I had to jump through a few hoops and find a retailer who would actually sell me some. And we did it properly. I ordered it online and I picked it up at the door. But this is not the good stuff. This is... since I finished that first body with it, it's about 2 hours later, and I've done the back and everything. And it takes a long time to dry, and it doesn't build the surface finish anywhere near as well as the other stuff does. So now I'm in a situation where I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way, which is to, now that I've got superglue on the guitar, I need to basically use it as a grain filler, basically treat it as a sanding sealer, and then I will spray polyurethane over the rest of it. So, let's get scraping. Right, that took a lot of work and a lot of very painstaking effort. A lot of this grain, because it's so squirrely, you'd wind up scraping that way for that bit, and then this way for the next bit, and then you'd have to go sideways for that bit, and then this bit was, I mean, it's basically a knot hole. You can't do anything with that one, just sort of go over the top of it in any direction that doesn't disturb the bits around it. It's going to be so worth it. I mean, you can already tell it looks astonishing. By the time I get some of this on it, it's going to look even better. I need a clean cloth and a mask, and then we're going to do this. So it's about 20 minutes later and this is dried. Mostly dried, I should say. I don't know if you can see that, but as I just run my finger over it, I'm actually raising up wet superglue that's still sitting in the pores. That's because this stuff is very, very different to the stuff that I had used on the other projects and also on the 5-string bass. This stuff is the stuff that I thought I was using when I screwed the fingerboards up. So all I'm going to do is basically give them another coat, sand it back, give them another couple of coats, sand it back again, and then that will fill the grain up, and then I can spray them with polyurethane and then let that cure for a couple of weeks before finally putting them together and playing them. I'll film all that process as it goes along, but there probably won't be enough of it that's of any interest for a couple of weeks. So in the meantime, you can always go back and check out how I got to this point, and there's other videos on my channel as well. Yes, so thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for subscribing, and I'll see you real soon. Cheers.